Hello and welcome to another episode of Rovis Rants. Today we're talking about the Saudis and how they are impacting sports in today's world. We all know that Live Golf was created in 2020, and because they were trying to poach the biggest names like Tiger Woods, who did not take the offer, but they were successful in taking Mickelson and signed him to a $200 million deal. Now, Tiger was offered $800 million, but turned it down, staying loyal to the PGA. But they forced a merger because they saw that the key players were being offered ridiculous amounts of money. Now, recently, Lebron James has been seen in Saudi, where it is rumored that he has been offered a 2-year, $1 billion deal. Now, again, this is rumor, and I'm not saying millions, I'm saying billion. So if you all, are watching LeBron James, you know that he had tweeted a Forrest Gump picture when he heard about what players were being offered in other sports. Giannis Antetokounmpo chimed in after he saw the offer to Kylian Mbappe, which would have been, including his transfer to $1 billion, with over $700 million going to him. Now, this should be scary for the NBA. And if you're an NBA fan, this may be potentially what is happening next. We all know that the Saudis have taken over the top players in international football, soccer in North America. When they signed players like Ronaldo to $200 million per season for Al Nassr, they also tried to sign Lionel Messi, but he didn't take the deal for whatever reason. They've signed Karim Benzema, and he also got a $200 million deal. He was the MVP of football this last year. They've signed Neymar to a $150 million $150 million a year for the season. Ridiculous amounts of money. Neymar was also offered that every time he tweeted something favorable about the Saudi teams, that he would receive a bonus of $500,000. I don't know about you, but I would be on Twitter constantly. Now, Saudi Main was also rumored to have signed a huge deal with Al Nassr. And so we can see how they've already taken over the top players of international football. They've also started having huge fighting deals in the Saudis. And where normally big fights were happening in Las Vegas, the next big fight with Adesanya and Fury will take place in Saudi. WWE was just bought out by a Saudi investment fund. What's happening here? So they've got their hand in golf. They have their hand in international football. They're taking over the boxing and wrestling. So is the NBA the next thing that they are targeting? If they want to be huge on the international stage, that's what they will have to do. And I see that that is what is coming. There's no cap in the Saudi leagues, so they can play their players whatever they want. And the Saudis obviously have money. They are trying to diversify their economy because the oil that they have is not unlimited, and at some point it will run out. So they need to figure out a way to continue to make huge profits and large amounts of money. And how else to do that but become big in the sports leagues? If you think about it, if they don't just get into NBA, but also take over large European League basketball players, I mean, you have to remember these guys only make between $400,000 and $800,000, and with the top player making $5 million if he's lucky. Players who come from Europe, like Doncic, Jokic, and Antetokounmpo, part of why they come to the NBA is for those huge salaries. But if the Saudi leagues are paying that money, what's to say that you're not going to be poaching the best players in Europe as well as the best NBA players? Now, Wembanyama, I know I'm saying his name wrong. I always say his name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. He's going to be getting $13 million. Now, and that's partly because of the draft when he comes to the NBA. Now, if the Saudis start off by offering these key generational players supermax contracts, what's to keep them playing in the United States or in North America, because we'll include the Raptors in this? And what is to have players decide that I'm not going to play in the NCAA and go and play in Saudi when they can be offered ridiculous amounts of money? Now, one deterrent may be there are some players who don't want to leave the USA. For other reasons, it may be they have wives or girlfriends who do not want to go to Saudi because of the strict rules they have around women. And, you know, in Saudi Arabia, women could not drive. That's changed. Women are slowly, very slowly, being given more rights. So that may not be a deterrent. And, you know, maybe they decide, you know what, I'll go play my season, you stay here, and I'll come back. If I'm going to make, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes it's worth the sacrifice. Now, we all have to know that this will change the landscape of all sport. It's changed the landscape in football, again, soccer. It obviously changed the landscape in golf. And it looks like the NBA is the next target. If you have LeBron James in Saudi and he leaves, they go and take Giannis Antetokounmpo. They don't even have to do that. They can start with the mid-level players and start with these young kids coming out of high school, and instead of going to college, going to play in the Saudi leagues. And within a few years, they will start to take players who are disheartened with the NBA, players like James Harden, who talked about even going to play in China. The NBA will be on a huge downfall. Ratings are already at an all-time low. And if the Saudis are able to poach key players from the NBA and future prospects, what will be left of the NBA? Tell me in the comment section, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they have the ability to poach these huge players? And if not, why not? Why do you think that the players won't go to Saudi if they're being offered millions and millions of dollars? Subscribe to Rovis Rants. Hit the like button. I'll keep you up to date on sports news, and we'll keep talking about these kind of stories. Let's keep our eye on the Saudis because it looks like the NBA, you're next.